Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Science with Dakshma. In today's video, we will learn about the topic the transportation system and the excretory system in detail. If you haven't seen my videos on the topic of nutrition and respiration, you can go through those videos. So let's start the class. Transportation. So what this word defines means transfer of something from one place to the another place. So similarly, our body required to transfer some nutrients, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and some other essential substances from one part of body to another part of the body. That's why our body requires a special system for this. That system is known as circulatory system. Now circulatory system consists of three main components. These three main components are heart, blood vessels, and blood and lymph. Now we will learn about all these components in detail. So first is blood. So what is the function of the blood? Blood provides medium through which nutrients, salts, oxygen and carbon dioxide can pass to the other part of the body. So through this blood, food, oxygen and waste product can move from one part of the body to another part of the body, and it consists of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. Now we will learn the function of these cells. So what is the function of the plasma? Plasma transport food, water, carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste. Nitrogenous waste means amino acids and urea. Now, function of the red blood cell. Red blood cells transport oxygen. Red blood cells contain hemoglobin, and hemoglobin has capacity or tendency to bind with oxygen. So, with that hemoglobin, oxygen can transfer from one part of the body to the other part of the body. Now, white blood cells. White blood cells can kill harmful microbes and it protect the body. Now, platelets. What is the function of the platelets? Platelets help in the formation of the clot at the time of injury. So, at the time of injury, blood start to flow from our body. So, to stop that blood flow, these platelets form a clotting near to the injury. So, by doing this, it prevents the loss of blood. Now, we will learn about the blood vessels. Now in heart, in our body, three type of blood vessels are there. One is arteries, another vein and capillaries. So what is arteries? Arteries are the thick walled blood vessels which carry oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood means the blood which is rich in oxygen. Arteries carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the different organs. Okay, and exception is pulmonary artery. This pulmonary artery carry deoxygenated blood from heart to lungs. Deoxygenated blood means the blood which is less rich in oxygen. Now second blood vessel is veins. Second type of blood vessel is veins. These blood vessels are thin walled and carry deoxygenated blood from different organ to the heart. Again there is exception, that is pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein carry oxygenated blood from lungs to the heart. Third type is capillaries. These are very narrow blood vessels, means very narrow or very small blood vessels which connect arteries and veins, and it helps through these capillaries food, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide can be exchanged between the blood and the cell. Now we will learn in detail about the structure of heart. So heart is a muscular organ which pump blood to the all the parts of the body, and its size is like as our fist, And this human heart is consists of four chambers. Four chambers, like your right hand side, you will define left atrium and left ventricle. This upper chambers is known as atria and below chambers are known as ventricles. So your right hand side, you will define upper chamber as the left atrium, below chamber is the left ventricle. Your left hand side, you will define upper chamber is the right atrium and below chamber is the right ventricle. So upper chambers are known as atria and below chambers are known as ventricles. So the human heart is composed of four chambers, that is right atrium, right ventricle and left atrium. Now upper chambers are called atria and the lower chambers are called ventricle. Ventricles pump blood. These ventricles pump blood to the different part of the body. That's why ventricles walls are thicker compared to the arterial wall. Now right and left chamber, you can see this is the right chamber, this is the left chamber. These chambers are separated by septum. So what is the function of the septum? It prevents the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. This is the function of the septum. Now you can see there will be some wall between the chamber, there will be some wall, and these wall prevent the blood flowing of the blood in the backward direction. Now we will understand its full working in detail. So now working of the heart means circulation of the blood, how the blood circulate in the heart. So first you concentrate here. This is the inferior vena cava. Through inferior vena cava, blood enter to the right atrium. So to receive the blood from inferior vena cava, right atrium expand. When blood enter to the right ventricle, that time right atrium contract and right ventricle expand. Now right ventricle contract and through the pulmonary artery blood flow to the toward the side of the lungs through this pulmonary artery. Why? For the oxygenation of the blood. Now again oxygenated blood through pulmonary vein enter to the left atrium. Now, while receiving the blood from pulmonary vein, left atrium relax. Okay. Now, there is a wall between left atrium and left ventricle. So, when the left ventricle receive the blood, that time left atrium contract and left ventricle relax. Now, through left ventricle, blood flow to the aorta and through aorta, oxygenated blood transfer to the rest of the body. Now you try to understand through this flow chart. Consider from lungs. Lungs are responsible for the gaseous exchange. You imagine lungs is having oxygen. So when the blood pass through the lungs, blood become oxygenated. Now from lungs, with the help of pulmonary vein, oxygenated blood enter to the left atrium. So when left atrium contract and left ventricle relax, that time blood flow from left atrium to left ventricle. Then from left ventricle, with the help of aorta is the main artery, oxygenated blood transfer to the other body organs. Now after utilizing that oxygen, now blood become deoxygenated, means it is rich in carbon dioxide and deficient in oxygen. So through different body organ, deoxygenated blood through main vein enter to the right atrium. Now when the blood transfer from right atrium to right ventricle, right atrium contract and right ventricle relax. Now from right ventricle, deoxygenated blood with the help of pulmonary artery transfer to the lungs for further oxygenation. So now you can see there is two times blood circulate in one cycle. In one cycle, two times blood flow takes place. That's why this circulation is also known as double circulation. So this is very important diagram you should know. And one more thing you should know, when one chamber transfer blood from one chamber to another chamber, that time one chamber contract and another chamber will relax. Okay, so I think now you can imagine this diagram. This your your right hand side left atrium, below left atrium left ventricle. Then left hand side you will write right atrium, right ventricle. Between right atrium and right ventricle there is a valve. That valve is known as tricapsid valve, and between left atrium and left ventricle valve is known as mitral valve. Yes, this is the inferior vena cava and this is the superior vena cava. This blue structure shows that this blood is deoxygenated. Deoxygenated means which is deficient in oxygen. So you can see that deoxygenated blood through inferior vena cava and superior vena cava received by the right atrium. Okay, so right atrium is the responsible for receiving the deoxygenated blood, and through left atrium can receive the oxygenated blood with the help of pulmonary vein. Now working of the heart, this is the theory, whatever I have explained, this theory is there. So I am reading it fast. So when left atrium relax, oxygenated blood from the lungs flow into the left atrium with the help of pulmonary vein. Now when the left atrium contract, the left ventricle expand and blood flow into the left ventricle. Now from left ventricle contract and oxygenated blood pumped out through the aorta to all the body parts. Now after circulating through all the body parts, blood become deoxygenated. So the deoxygenated blood now entered the right atrium through the vena cava. Now when the right atrium contract and right ventricle expand, then blood flow into the right ventricle, and then right ventricle contract and blood is pumped to the lungs through the pulmonary artery for further oxygenation of the blood. So in the lungs, carbon dioxide is removed and oxygen is absorbed. So this process is oxygenation, and oxygenated blood again enter the left atrium and the process repeats. So during this one cycle, blood flow through the heart twice, two times. So that's why this circulation is also known as double circulation. So now let's understand the function of the lymph. Lymph and blood, as you know, they are providing the medium through which nutrient, oxygen, carbon dioxide can transfer from one part of the body to another part of the body. So lymph, it is a colorless liquid which is present in the intercellular space, and it is formed from the plasma which escape from the capillaries, and it is colorless, and lymph drain into the lymphatic capillaries which form lymph vessels and then further join to become into large veins. Through veins, deoxygenated blood and can be removed. Now lymph, what is the function of the lymph? Lymph transport digested fats and drain excess fluid, the fluid which is in excess amount. So our body need to require to remove that from our body, so from intercellular space back into the blood. So now, and lymph contain the lymphocytes, and what is the function of the lymphocytes? It can kill the germs and it protect the body. Now let's understand the transportation in plants, how the transportation takes place in the plants. So, in plants, transportation of material like food, water, and mineral takes place with the conductive tissues. These tissues are known as xylem and phloem. So, these conductive tissues, xylem and phloem, are responsible for the transportation of water, minerals, and food in the plants. So, now let's understand about the first xylem. What is the function of the xylem? So, xylem transport water and mineral from the root to all the parts of the plants, because firstly, root can absorb the water from the soil. Then, um, and it consists of Xylem consists of xylem vessels and tracheids. Actually, xylem has four components, but these two components are mainly responsible for the conduction of the water. So, water and mineral enter the root from the soil by the process of diffusion. Now then, due to transpiration, because transpiration is also taking place, transpiration means removal of the excess amount of water from the aerial part of the plants. So this create a pressure or force which help this transpiration pool help in the upward movement of the water and minerals like this. Root water and mineral is absorbed. Now transpiration is taking place. Transpiration create a force or pull through which water and minerals transfer to the all the parts of the plants. So conduction of water takes place with the help of xylem in plants. Now phloem. What is the function of the phloem? Phloem is responsible for the transportation of food from the leaves to the other part of the plant, because you know where is the photosynthesis takes place inside the leaf. So now uh, food transfer takes place from leaves to the other part of the plants. So this process is known as translocation. Transfer of food from leaf to other part of the plant is known as translocation. Now translocation, now the phloem consists of sieve tubes and companion cell. With the help of these components, these cells transportation of food takes place. So food from the leaves is transferred to the xylem by the energy of ATP molecules. Means plant have to spend ATP molecules, means energy is required for this process. That's why this process is active process. So during this time also osmotic pressure created by water, and due to this osmotic pressure phloem and the water enter into the phloem, and then it help in the transportation of the food. Now we will learn about excretion in detail. So what is excretion? Excretion is the biological process through which waste product removed from the body. Now from where these waste product accumulated in our body. So during the process of nutrition, transportation, respiration, many metabolic activities takes place. So during that metabolic activities, waste product accumulated in our body. Now our body required to remove that waste product, because these accumulation of these waste product are harmful for the organism, and if this waste product is not removed, then it can be lethal for an organism. So in unicellular organism, we have learned about excretion in unicellular organism. Waste product can be removed with the process of diffusion. While in multicellular organism, these organisms require some special excretory organs. In human being, these special excretory organs are known as kidneys. So excretory organ is further divided into categories: accessory excretory organ and main excretory organ. In human being, main excretory organ is kidney, and accessory excretory organ like lungs, skin, liver. Through lungs, we can remove the carbon dioxide as a waste product. Through skin, some harmful salts, and excess amount of water can be removed out in the form of sweat. Through liver can detoxify the harmful chemicals which are produced during the chemical activities. Now we will learn about the kidney, main excretory organ, in detail. So excretion in human being. In human being, excretory system includes a pair of kidney, a urinary bladder, this is the urinary bladder, and a pair of ureter, these tube-like structure, these are known as ureter, and a urethra. This opening of the bladder is known as urethra. So, excretory system include a pair of kidney, a urinary bladder, a pair of ureter, and a urethra. Now, the human excretory system is composed of a pair of kidney, means two kidney are involved in this system, and kidney is bean shaped through which lie near the vertebral column in the abdominal cavity. Now, these kidneys have many filtration units, and these filtration units are known as nephron. And so we can say that nephron is the functional unit of kidney. So now you can see a tube-like structure. These tube-like structures are called ureter, through which which comes out of the kidney and goes to the, you can see it comes out from the kidney and goes to the urinary bladder. Now urine is collected in this urinary bladder. This urinary bladder is muscular in muscular structure, and from where it this urine expelled out through the urethra when brain sent the signal that time. Now uh, we will learn about the structure of the nephron. So as already we have learned about nephron, nephron is the functional unit of kidney. So this structure represents the nephron, and this is simplified structure of the nephron. Now each nephron has a cup-like structure that is known as Bowman's capsule. In this diagram you can see this cup-like structure. This cup-like structure is known as Bowman's capsule, and in this Bowman's capsule many blood capillaries are there. These capillaries are known as glomerulus. Many capillaries will be there. So this bundle of capillaries are known as glomerulus. Now, Bowman's capsule lead into a tubular structure which join into a collecting duct. Now you can see this Bowman's capsule. You can see these carry the oxygenated blood, and yellow are the extension of the collecting duct, and blues are the blue veins are these are the renal vein. So the renal artery bring the renal word represent the kidney. So the artery associated with kidney is known as renal artery. It bring the nitrogenous waste like ammonia, urea, uric acid along with excess water into the nephron artery. It carries the oxygenated blood. Along with blood, these nitrogenous waste also enter into the nephron. Now purification of that blood takes place here in the glomerulus with the help of these blood vessels. So now it filters the nitrogenous waste, water and salt, not like simple salt, NaCl and all like that. Some some important salts can be absorbed here, which pass through the tubular structure into the collecting duct. These are the collecting duct. Here again reabsorption of the important substance takes place. You can see this cup-like structure in this image. This cup-like structure is known as Bowman's capsule, and there is the blood capillaries. Now through these blood capillaries, absorption of the ammonia, urea, and excess water, salt, etc. takes place. Now through these blood capillaries, it will move like this and like this. And in collecting duct, again reabsorption of the important substances takes place. So then the waste passed through the ureter into the urinary bladder, and then it's sent out through the urethra in the form of urine. So because during this process some important substances are also there. So like amino acids, glucose, salt, etc. These important substance again reabsorbed by the capillaries around the tubular structure, and it goes into the renal vein, and through renal vein again it go to vena cava, and through vena cava to the lungs for further oxygenation. Now excretion in plant. How the excretion in plant takes place? So in plant, gaseous waste product formed during the respiration, and because in plants oxygen is the waste product, like, so gaseous exchange takes place through stomata. So stomata help in the exchange of the gases. Now excess water is removed through the stomata, that is known as transpiration. So through transpiration, excess amount of water can be removed. Through stomata, exchange of gases takes place, and some waste products are stored in the leaves and removed when the leaves dry and fall off. In the form of that, waste product can be removed out, and some waste product can be stored in the vacuole. Vacuole is the intercellular space in the plant cell. And some waste product like gums and resins are stored in the old xylem cells. I hope you understood the transportation system and excretory system. If you have any doubt or any question, you can ask in the comment box. And if you find my video helpful, then please like, share and subscribe.